Let's see the camera back on. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're good. All right. Good morning, everybody. Today is November 3rd. So today's the presidential elections. So today should be the beginning of the end, potentially. We'll just have to take it day by day moving forward. So quick disclaimer. This is just a conversation between me and Michael. We're just friends. None of this should be taken as any kind of expert advice. Neither of us are experts in any of these fields. Well, actually, technically, I'm a personal trainer, so technically I can't say that I'm a professional. But despite that, everything else is just to be taken as an opinion. And if you decide to take anything that we say seriously, that's up to you. Take it
That's
at
your
your own
risk.
risk. Mm-hmm.
Very good. Good morning, everybody. We got a few topics for the day. We are gonna stick to the same format as we did yesterday. So starting with personal development. Who do you consider to be a good influence in your life and why? Fitness. Why are calories very important? And finance. What are catalysts and what effect do they have? And of course, some news updates that we're looking at. Um, Without further ado, let's dive in. Let's
All
dive
right.
into it.
Yeah, if you can tell it's morning because we're struggling out here. You got that coffee?
Nah, I'm trying to
There you
stay
go.
away from coffee in the mornings. Yeah,
Really? No, I need the caffeine. Otherwise, I'm dead.
and then just regular water.
Okay,
Mhm.
I'll take it.
All right, so let's jump in. What do you consider a good influence in your life? Let's start with
And
that.
that's
It's a hard
that's a
question.
pretty broad and long question, and
Hmm.
pretty difficult as well. Good influences. Well, I mean, if we're gonna start at like the most fundamental level, I guess you would say your parents, right?
Hmm.
Depending on the person. For sure, I feel like my father is a pretty good influence in my life. He's always been a hard worker. He's always done everything that he can. He's done everything that he can in order to be successful, despite the circumstances.
Hmm.
So he was an immigrant. He didn't really have an education in terms of once he came here. He finished at most like a sixth grade level, I believe. And
Hmm.
from there, he was able to start his own business here. He's had a business for over 30 years, and he's had a family throughout the entire time. He had his first child when he was in his early 20s. He was married by the time he was 18. So it's pretty
Hmm.
traditional background, but a lot of it required a lot of work, especially moving from the Dominican Republic over here. So I garner a lot of respect and just influence from the fact that my father worked so hard in order to get to this point. And to a certain degree, I want to make him proud and, put in the necessary work to achieve as much, if not more than what he did in order
Right.
to make sure that I'm well off and that I can support him as he gets older as well. But what about you? What kind of influences are you
That
looking at?
sounds that sounds good. I definitely agree with you. Like, going back to basics is definitely gonna be our parents. Um, but then there's also influence outside of the household. For me, my mom is definitely my role model. I get a lot of her qualities when it comes to like the way that I think and my personality as well, which is interesting. She was an entrepreneur since she was like back in Ecuador, very well respected in the community over there as well here. Like we went to this Ecuadorian event on Sunday upstate. Everybody knew her, like everybody respected her, and that's the sort of respect like I kind of want to seek for myself. And same thing with my dad. When he was young, he was a like one of the best soccer players in my community. So people also know him and also respect him. And sometimes it gets a little bit annoying living on the shadow of that, you know, of that, because they know you because of your parents rather than because of who you are. So it gets a little bit annoying, but I love that. Like I love them because of they earn that for themselves, and I admire that because that's something that I want to achieve as well. But yeah, so they're definitely good influence on that. They have achieved a lot of things um, when it comes, financially as well as morally. I had said like I think yeah, it all comes down to like how like the ethics and the morals of the household, and you can kind of see that in within our family, like the values that we carry on, and it's all because of my mom and my dad, of course, as well. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
some.
that's the fundamental.
Yeah, so
With a strong foundation, you can do a lot. And then there's something to be said about those people that don't have strong foundations and how hard that makes things. That's a topic we can have another time, a topic of conversation.
not for
Um,
sure. All right, so
let's see.
now outside of like
Yeah,
household.
yeah. So let's see. What's been some good influences? Um, Man, there's too many things. I can't think of any one thing. I mean, I've read some pretty good books. See, what's a good book that
Books.
I've read? Uh, Can't Hurt Me. It's by a Navy SEAL. His name is
Mm-hmm.
David Goggins. I don't know if you've ever heard of him or seen some videos
No.
online. So he's had a pretty rough life. He had that kind of upbringing where he didn't get that kind of strong foundation from his family. A lot of it was just struggle and abuse. And I see from that perspective, like the reason why he failed so much in the beginning of his life, but he was able
Mm-hmm.
to turn all of that around with just a mindset. It wasn't necessarily that all the circumstances in his life kind of just changed for the better. It was that he willed it into reality. And I feel like a lot of that people can garner some good perspective and like, listen, the circumstances that you're in are pretty shitty, or they can be
Mm-hmm.
pretty shitty, but that doesn't necessarily mean that has to be the only outcome.
Right.
There are ways to make your life better just by simply putting in the work and finding ways to just put yourself in better positions.
It's all you, like always.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to books, my favorite book is Anthem by Ryan. Should I forget her name? Hold on, I have it right here. This book right here, Ayn Rand. Best book I ever read. Now, the reason I love this book is because it really shows like there's like a hidden message about individualism and like being you for who you are, and also learning to break the stereotypes and society's rules pretty much, because you don't choose the society that you or yeah you don't choose the society that you're born in, but you can choose the future that you can build for future generations, aka you children. And I love that. Um, the hidden messages are really deep. I read it like now I think it was gonna be like 6 times, and every time that I read it, I get like you know new messages. I find something new in it, and I think I told you to read it. It's a really
Yeah.
good book.
No, I read it.
Yeah, so that's I think one of that things like individualism is very important for me because not everybody is the same, and I feel like a lot of people trying to impress other people rather than learn who they are and improving themselves. You know, yeah.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
but outside of books, good influence or somebody that I looked up to, I think it would be Elon Musk or Nikola Tesla.
Mm.
But mainly,
Okay.
mainly Nikola Tesla, because his story is fascinating. Like he
Mm.
was super smart and he was he wasn't ambitious. He did it because of the betterment of humans, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that he got cheated on by Edison is crazy to me. You
Mm.
know, like it's, yeah, I think his story is like one that like the impact that he had, something that you and I use daily, like radio, like microwave, is thanks to him. And
Mm-hmm.
that's something like the kind of impact I wanna like maybe leave behind. And like no many people knows who he is or what he has achieved. And he was selfless in that aspect, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to Elon Musk, I can argue that, like he wants the betterment of humans, but at the same time, he's a businessman. So he's profits driven. And at the end of the day, this world runs on profits. So if you cannot monetize what working on, then,
It doesn't matter.
exactly. So that's one of the reasons I kind of respect him. Aside of that, when it comes to friends, you have been a good influence in my life for sure.
Oh,
Uh,
thanks, bud.
yeah. I think it's the constant competition between us with that tribe, you know. But yeah, and then other friends as well. Everybody has like some influence and aspects, and that's why they are in my life. That's why I choose to keep them around. But
Right, right. Yeah, same for sure. You're definitely a good influence on me because we're always shooting ideas back and forth. We're always trying to see how we can better each other or better ourselves,
hmm
and we always try to gain each other's perspectives. So that's definitely something. I mean, that's why we're doing this, right?
right.
Yeah, I mean, like influences are pretty much everywhere. It's not like they're just not there. It's just there's so many. It's hard to think of just any
hmm
one. And yeah, generally those influences are going to be in your life for a reason. Whether
Yeah,
you can like articulate it as well or not, it doesn't really matter. So long as you understand that they're there and that they're positive, that's all that matters.
yeah, and also there's not just positive influences. There are also negative influences. So keep aware of that.
For
And
sure.
I know that for sure. I know that for sure because I mean I have friends from all sort of like life background, like different backgrounds,
Mhm.
and you can see the way that they act in different environments as comparing to like when you go to a different scenario and I meet up with other type of friends. It's different, right? I'm very adaptable, so I feel like for me it's easy to like have the open mindedness,
Mhm.
and you realize which I mean you choose which sort of lifestyle you kind of want to have for yourself, but at the same time don't forget that they are still your friends. You just gotta like
Right.
kind of limit the time, because the more you spend with them, the more you are drive to start thinking the way that they do.
For sure. For sure. No, everything is a balance. You can't just be like,
hmm
it's all about, growing and becoming better every single day. I mean, it should be like that, but at some point you have to balance that out with,
Fun.
understanding that you got to have fun. It's all fleeting. We're not going to be here forever. So you can't just always work hard and never enjoy the work that you do.
hmm Definitely, it's a balance. Gotta work
Mhm.
hard and have fun. But yeah, very good
That
topic.
about covers it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
What's next?
Let's jump into the next one, which is fitness. Why are calories important?
All right. Let's take the floor. So, calories. What are calories? People always talk about calories this, calories that. So, calories is basically the fundamental source of energy for your body. Whenever your body does anything, so think of your heart pumping, your lungs working, organs functioning, your muscles moving around, any kind of articulation like this, calories are being
Mhm.
burned in order for this to happen because calories are energy. In the same way electricity works for any of your appliances, electricity works for charging your phone, right? That's what's happening here. So the reason why I just explained why calories are so important. But in order to understand how calories play a role in your day-to-day life, the amount of the energy that you consume, that kind of gives you, it's a good way to put it. It determines whether or not you're going to be the kind of person that gains weight or loses weight. So on a fundamental level, you're already burning calories just by being alive. Generally, the most general number that I can think of is about 1,000 to about 1,500 calories. That's how much calories you burn by just being alive. You don't have to do anything. You can just sit in place and you'll burn anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 calories, depending on the kind of person. Some people have slower
Mhm.
metabolisms, so that means they're burning less calories, or other people are burning more calories. But in any case, that's the general range. Anything after that is coming from the movements and activities that you do day to day, and also the amount of food that you consume throughout the day, because food are calories. So hypothetically, let's say on a basic level, you're somebody that's overweight and you're trying to lose weight. First, you gain what the basic metabolic rate is, your basal metabolic rate. How much calories do you burn by just being alive? After that, then we take into account activities that you do throughout the day. Um,
Mhm.
you do technically burn calories by just sitting, but it's not really that much. you kind of just writing and typing around with your hands on a keyboard or something. It does burn calories, but it's not really significant. So that's why we want to incorporate more activities that burn more calories in order for you to lose weight. So hypothetically, let's say your basal metabolic rate is 12,000 or 1,200. With your activities, you burn about an extra 800 to 1,000 calories a day. So on a daily basis, you need to be consuming about 2,000 to 2,200 calories in order to just not lose weight, just to be at a baseline. If you want to lose weight, you're going to have to consume less than that. So let's say if you're not losing weight at 2,000 calories, then you have to drop that down by 200 calories. So you go from 2,000 to 1,800. There, your body's in what's called a caloric deficit. So basically, you're expending more energy than what you're consuming or burning on a given basis. That generally over time is what's going to compound in order for you to lose weight. Because most of the time what ends up happening is that body fat is just stored energy. And if you can find a way to burn that excess energy off little by little, so 200 calories every day or more, that's where the fat loss will start kicking in. Same concept, but if you flip it around in terms of gaining weight, similar idea. So instead of 2,000 is your maintenance, you jump over to, let's say, 2,400. You have an excess of about 200 to 400 calories. That's where you're going to start gaining weight. If you're somebody who has a difficult time gaining weight. Now, these are just general numbers. Most of the time, you're going to find that the calorie counts are anywhere from about 2,000 to 3,000. It takes like 3,000 plus in order to gain weight for somebody that has a fast metabolism. And it takes about 2,000 or less for somebody that has a slow metabolism and is overweight.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just the general consensus of what calories are and how they work.
Yeah, for sure it depends on the type of the person who is working with. For me, calories equals to energy. I think you covered that part, so I don't have much to say. But yeah, it depends on what you're trying to do. Gain weight, lose weight. Calories play a very important role, and that's why your diet, it's the most influential one, because you get most of your calories from diet. I mean, from the food that you eat. But yeah, other than that,
Oh, that's pretty much it.
yeah, that's pretty much it. You covered it all. Very good.
See, I went a little bit more scientific, and maybe it sounded a little bit more complicated than what it should have, but it's calories in versus calories out. Do you want to gain weight or do you want to lose weight? Figure out that, and then basically after that, just make sure that the food that you're consuming is corresponding well to whatever the goal is. Because that's the thing. Sometimes it becomes so annoying because it's just like there's so many things involved. But the more simple you can make it, the easier it's going to be for you.
What is the equation to see the calories range?
Oh, I don't have an equation for you. You can kind of just Google it. But what equation?
I think it's like age times height times something.
Oh, your BMI?
Yeah.
Your body mass index. Yeah. I can't remember off the top of my head, but you can definitely Google the body mass index.
Wait, let me
that one is go ahead. That one isn't particularly useful for somebody that has a lot of muscle mass or has muscle, because it'll take muscle and kind of attribute the same attributes as fat to it.
Oh yeah, it's mass. So mass in kilograms over height square.
Yep.
Interesting. Yeah, I knew there was some calculator for that to calculate your calories. I know there's actually. Oh no, that's the heart rate. We can talk about that. Like, when you're doing cardio, there's like a
low end heart rate, high end heart rate, and your percentage ranges. Yep, for sure.
We can talk about that later. But yeah, calories, energy, simple as that. You're lazy, don't do anything. Go out and walk. And don't eat too much.
It doesn't have to be crazy. Listen, if you can find a way to just stand doing the activities that you do every day. So let's say you're obviously college student, because that's usually the kind of audience that we're trying to target. Instead of sitting all day studying, try to find a way for you to stand. And it doesn't even have to be all day. Just find a way for you to stand like 20 minutes of every hour. You stand, you do your studying standing, or you walk around for 20 minutes while you're studying. That way you kind of just get everything flowing. You get more heart or more blood just flowing throughout your body, burning extra calories, and you're not just, being lazy not necessarily being lazy, but not using your body the way it's meant to be used.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Very good. I think that covers all.
Mhm.
Let's jump to the next topic, which will be finance. Now, on our finance for today, it's what are catalysts and what effect do they have? Interesting question. Very good one, because today we have a huge one.
Mhm.
Can you explain what catalysts are?
Okay, sure. So to me, the basic definition of what I think of catalysts are any kind of, let's say, what's the word I'm looking for here? I'm blanking out. Any kind of event, any event that
Mm-hmm.
can potentially move any stock in any one direction or the stock market in any one direction. So as you were just saying, right, we have a catalyst today in the presidential elections. So depending on the outcome, that's either going to be a positive or negative catalyst. Honestly, I think it's a negative catalyst regardless because people are going to be
Mm-hmm.
upset on both sides.
Yeah.
But in a hypothetical scenario, there's usually a positive outcome or a negative outcome. So let's move away from the presidential elections and let's just talk about something more concrete. So let's say Apple. They had their release of the new iPhone, right? And it wasn't particularly that great. There wasn't really that much in innovation. There was some, but it wasn't, it wasn't crazy. It wasn't going from 2 cameras to 3 cameras like the iPhone 3 or the iPhone 11 did, right? So that wasn't necessarily a positive catalyst because it really drive the prices up all that well on the stock. If anything, it stagnated and then it started falling because the overall market started falling.
Mm-hmm.
If it was a positive catalyst, so let's go a year back when they came out with the iPhone 11, that bumped up the share price because people were excited about it. And if think about it like this, the stock market is just people and their emotions, basically.
Mm-hmm.
If they feel something is positive about something, they're going to buy it. If they feel something is negative about it, they're going to sell it or they're just not going to buy it. So positive catalyst will generally drive the prices up. A negative catalyst will generally drive the prices down.
The point that you just mentioned, I think we never brought it up. The stock of a company doesn't represent the company. Or like the company can be doing great, but the stock can be like dropping like shit. That the stock doesn't really show how the company is. It shows how people are willing to invest in that specific company or how much money they're trying to pump into that company. And because of that, news, any sort of news around the company, good or bad, serves like as catalyst. It serves as a little kind of like motive for people to whether buy or sell. So that's pretty much it, the effect that it has on the market. So it's on the effect on the people, the way that people think about it. Like Randy mentions today, the election is a huge catalyst for the overall market, not just for a specific company, but for the whole market. And that's something too. Other catalysts that affect the entire market, and there are catalysts that affect specific companies. For example, what's one? Battery day for Tesla. It, people, even before that, Tesla had a lot of catalysts this year actually. People thought that Tesla is going to do great and blah blah blah, but it wasn't that innovating. So a lot of people buy it before the event because the price is cheap. So with the catalyst, it's going to rise. It's going to go to the roof. But if that's once that catalyst happen, they sell, sell, sell. So usually it tends to go down, regardless how positive it was.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, simple words. Catalyst is just um, news. Honestly, news and
Catalysts
like
are
a
effects. So with
effect.
the
Yeah,
A catalysts
affects.
generally
Yeah.
affect emotions, and
Hmm.
emotions will drive the prices up or down depending on who's looking at it.
Yeah, yeah,
And
true.
because think
That's
about it,
simple
the
as that.
whole market is value that's artificial. It's artificial value. The value that we put on a company is based on what people feel like it should have. None of it is like this is the actual value of this company.
Well,
It's
the
what we
earnings
think
report.
it.
That's what earnings reports are for.
Yeah.
Earnings report pretty much tells you the value of the company. And before the earnings report, all you're doing, all people is doing, is analyzing the company, kind of setting a value to it. But that doesn't mean that's the value of the company. Earnings report will kind of clarify that and say whether you were right or you were wrong, pretty much. Talking about earnings report, yesterday we had a good ones. Waste management, let's just start with that. Really great company. I definitely encourage, if you're looking for a safe stock, waste management, pandemic, no pandemic, end of the war, no end of the world, it's always going to be a great investment because you need your garbage to get picked up every single week. And that's something that they do. Waste
What's the
management.
ticker on that one?
WM.
WM. Okay.
So they beat their expectations. Also, like they pay dividends. So usually that's how you kind of want to make your money, because it's usually flat. It's like a steady 0.3 or 4% growth annually. So it's very slow growth, but it's very stable. Good. Waste management, it was up yesterday 2.5%. PayPal beat Q3 estimate, but guided lower. So the stock fell 6%. That was really sad to see yesterday. AMC, they did not beat expectations. They actually missed expectations, and they paid the price of it. They failed 91%. Wow. No, my bad. They actually jumped 2.3% after hours.
Okay, that's good. Well, I mean, think about it. AMC is so dead. Like at this point, anything, even a negative catalyst would be a positive look at it.
Yeah.
They just need to open back up.
Right. Neo. Randy has been mentioning about Neo all these days, and I think you're day trading Neo right now. It's actually doing pretty good. It delivered double of vehicles than they did last year, which is really good numbers. Thinking that it's a new company and stuff like that. They beat it. They're doing more than Tesla did back in the days, because Tesla usually missed it at deliveries when they first started. So it was a good jump of 9%. So right now, from last year, they up to 728%, which is crazy.
And I'm thinking it's just going to keep going, because at this point, unless there's something crazy that happens with the company, some negative news, there's nothing that's stopping it from growing.
Exactly. So I might looking into that. Now, Apple has a big new event. They announced another special event for this month, for November. So Apple will go live on Apple Park on Tuesday, November 10th at 10 a.m. It's expected that Apple is gonna just release the latest computers, the latest MacBook Pro, and they say that we'll no longer have Intel design chips. Ooh, that's a negative catalyst for Intel. So keep an eye on that. Actually, if we take a look on Intel, they're already down.
Not doing so hot. They're not doing hot at all.
Yeah, I actually have some. I actually have both.
Did they say who they're changing the chips with? Are they going AMD?
It might be AMD actually. Well,
they're going
green, but
yeah. I talked about it before. AMD and Intel are the ones going head to head, and if Intel's now getting that negative news, then little by little they're going to be taken out of the market because they're not innovating anymore.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that actually. Just found out. On my side, on my trades, I was holding is triple Q during the weekend. I saw some positive profit right there, and also jump into a small position for his VXY, and because the market was up, that one has a direct effect with the SP 500. I made some profit as well. Might not be as huge as Randy's, but it's something small.
No, it's definitely something good.
It's profit.
For me, I have I did a day trade yesterday on Neo. I got a little overzealous. I bought into the hype a little too fast. So I had to manage the position basically the whole day. And I had to hold overnight like a $10,000 position, which I was not happy about. But luckily enough, I woke up at 5 a.m. and the position was up like 2%. So I made like a $200 profit off of it. Just sold it and called it a day.
That's it.
At this point, any kind of right now with the presidential elections, holding anything overnight is a dangerous move because we have absolutely no idea how this is going to go.
Yes, sir. Oh,
So yeah,
let's
that's
not. Let's
basically
not. Oh shit! I forgot to mention. Dunkin' brands. So the company that buys Dunkin' is going private.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts is going private. Yeah.
Really?
Uh, yeah. The same brand that owns, I think, is Buffalo Wild Wings. What else is in the portfolio? Shit! I forgot. All I know is the same parent that owns Buffalo Wild Wings is buying Dunkin' and taking it private. And
Well,
you
that's
might have seen
interesting.
the stock. Yeah, the stock was really up. It was a good catalyst on that aspect. Other than that, guys, elections is tonight. If you haven't voted, go vote. Now, New York City gonna go Democrat regardless. So it's those swing states that have the deciding vote at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day. But yeah,
We'll wait
other
and
than
see.
that, we
So make
gotta
sure you're not
rest.
out too late, just in case there are riots
Yeah,
and stuff.
there's gonna be riots. That's for sure. Nobody's gonna either or. Whether Trump wins, Democrats are not gonna accept it. But if Trump loses, Republicans are not gonna accept it.
Yeah.
Man,
I just want
so
this
it's
to. Well, I just want to skip time, so we're ahead back in like January. So everything's
facts.
decided. Nothing. We can't contest the vote anymore, and it's all done and over with.
To be honest, I feel like I was talking to my sister about this. That it might go to the Supreme Court.
Ugh.
It might take it up to the Supreme Court, so we wouldn't know who the president is until like end of the year. Watch, because like regardless whoever wins or loses, they're not gonna give up. Like chances, like according to polls, Biden has the leading on the swing states, but Trump is gonna take it to the Supreme Court.
Oh boy. Well, we're just gonna
His
have to
yeah, his
play it day
his
by day.
his mood swings because he
Uh-huh.
was like I think he said something about like like no more counting after like 9 p.m. or after elections is over. But he's gonna be like, oh, can we count the rest of the boys and stuff like that? Just watch. Yeah, some bullshit's gonna but
There. Well, whatever.
yeah,
We'll
like
be back tomorrow anyway, so we'll be able to see what happens.
facts. All right, guys, it was good talking to ya and to you, Randy. Peace.
Peace out.